flying the plane?
I was saying to Natalie, like, I live in a land of delusion so much that I feel like I could fly an airplane, or if I'm on an airplane, I'm going to be on one next month. I feel like if there's a problem, like, please, both the pilots, they ate the fish and they're sick. I could be like, I can land the plane. And like all these haters, that would be like, you got to, fly, you got to major in engineering, have experience. Haters. I can land it. Uh-oh. I heard something beep. Is that a hater?
Are we going down? That's going down the plane. Amber, help. Amber, you can do it.
I can do it. Oh, the hype train's at 94%. And if it gets to 100, I'll,
If it doesn't get to 100, that plane is going right into the mountain.
It's going to crash and all these kids will die. All of these unvaccinated children will die.
Oh, God, no. I think that you could. I believe that you could fly a plane in a... Lots of chaos happening today in the studio.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. Just somebody interrupting.
Santa Claus.
I think you could. I think that you could fly a plane, and if somebody was chastising you as the plane was crashing, maybe they deserve to crash.
Yeah, haters. Mm-hmm. That's right. I think I can fly a plane, and like before we started going, I was like, I gotta write a TV show, and I think I could just write it and get it on TV. And I know that like that's so hard to do. Have you seen me spell?
She knows every word
I know.
that we've ever come across. She can spell it.
Ask a word, Natalie.
Spelt.
Spelt. S-P-E-L-T. Spelt.
Chagrin.
Chagrin. Can that be used in a sentence, please?
I'm experiencing chagrin for starting this segment.
Okay, chagrin. S-H-I-G-R-I-N. Chagrin.
Oh my God, that was pretty good.
Look at this. Anybody in the chat?
That's wrong.
That's right.
I wasn't listening at all to your spelling. I was just like, yes.
I was about to say, anybody has a word that wants to spell, put it in the chat. But then you've already spelled the word, so
you could put it in phonetically.
You could do Pig Latin, right? C-H-A-G-R-A-N. Thank you, Ariel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Someplace Underneath.
Welcome. I'm Natalie Jean.
Amber Nelson. We have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we were just talking about the solar eclipse and how it's not going to affect your plane ride.
No, because I've been like, I was raised Southern Baptist, and they're very like strict, and there's a lot of heavy religion on your brain. And then I'm kind of in LA. I'm around that sort of witchcraft vibes, and I was kind of dabbling into it. But that also has sometimes the heaviness. Like I feel.
What's the magical thinking aspect of it?
Yeah, with this eclipse, I was like, is the plane going to crash? Like, because I'm flying on, I don't want to say when. But, and at the end of the day, I don't think it will. I think it's fine.
It will be fine. And if it's not, you can land it.
And if it's not, yes, I can land it. Mm-hmm. Or you can feel free to cut this and then put R.I.P. Amber.
Yeah, use this clip and then immediately use it for the memorial. Man, so wait. L'Oreal, you work in one of the cities that's in the line, so you're preparing the city for a bunch of people to show up because they're going to stand there.
Oh, right, because that's why, like on TikTok, they were like, don't you see the National Guard is going to be called out for the solar eclipse? And they propose it in a way of like God's coming back, which would be pretty cool, but it's really because all these people are flooding into these small towns where they have like one 7-Eleven and like a couple hotels, so they're telling people of the town to like stock up on food and supplies because you might not have it.
There will be blue hairs in your town.
You're going to get woke. The wokers are going to come to your town.
I was saying that you should market something that prevents you from getting vaccinated people on you. And you said, oh, like a mask. And I said, no. It's not a mask. It's a shield. It's a God shield, which is much more masculine.
Oh, my God. If you called it God shield and just had a mask with like Psalms 42 or whatever.
Instead, it was like to prevent shedding. mRNA, whatever, shedding.
Or a beard mask. Hype train, 78%.
Ooh. Oh, thank you, Ridage Prop. It's
Tugs
just
McNugs.
a sports bra in a sheer shirt.
Ooh. And thank you, Tugs McNugs, for gifting a tier 1 to Eleanor Conderpass 69. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We got some stuff to discuss today. I was intending, we were going to initially talk about Diddy And we will a little, but as I was looking into it, it is a dense amount of information.
It might need to be a whole episode.
I actually think we do need maybe an entire hour to talk about it because there's a lot happening and there's multiple people. I was like, his sons, Cuba Gooding.
More like Cuba Batting Jr., am I right?
I didn't realize he had already had accusations before this, apparently.
It's a lot. It's to the point where now if a musician is like mean or does drugs themselves, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay, so he does crystal meth. Who gives a shit? The bops are fire.
You robbed something, I don't care.
Right.
You embezzled. As long as it was from other rich people, I don't care. Do what you got to do, man. Just stop trafficking. Why?
Right.
So that is the crux of what's going on. It's really complex, and there's a bunch of different people who have made accusations. I guess Diddy's also had a bunch of older accusations. I'm not aware of that either, but I've just seen like the headlines of it, so I have to look a lot further into it. But this most recent one that is causing all of this melee, somebody who worked for him for a long time is filing this lawsuit, and apparently this employee was tasked with filming every second of Diddy's life, including all of the crimes. So this was a hired person who Diddy said, film me constantly, I guess maybe because of the megalomania aspect or something, like everything I do is important. But that included all of the crimes that he committed. So in the lawsuit, they basically say, we have video of all of it, so this is not going to go well probably for Diddy, but...
He could say it's AI. That's the new thing now. It's AI, not me.
AI, oh yeah, I guess you can just say that. And then if people, honestly, in some courts, if the people, like the court system, the people aren't up on media and technology, sometimes that works. It's true. I forget what case that was, but there was something that was so maddening. There was something about maybe revenge porn or something that the court system that was being tried in, the people who were running the court didn't understand tech, and so it was like basically all thrown out because they just were old and didn't learn about what the tech was. They're just like, I don't know what this is. I guess case closed.
Oh my God, we need to be running media literacy campaigns, like how they did, like propaganda, like how they did in the 1950s, where they're like, smoking's bad for you, or whatever they said.
I wasn't listening to what they said, you know. So yeah, I do think that that's a big issue. We talked about how it is becoming more common for kids to be learning media literacy, which is really, really important. Also, parents should be learning it because of how much we've talked about all the things that can happen to your kid online. You have to know what they're doing. You can't just go, I trust them, I can see their text messages, because it won't work.
Oh my God, who's that? And I know we're getting off topic, I'm so sorry, but who is the woman of, it's a sweet little child, and she's exploiting her right now, Evie?
I don't like saying their names.
Oh no, not the child, but the woman, the adult. I forget what the mom's name is, but she's like dead-faced in the camera, just like, I have not exploited my child.
I think you're talking about Jacqueline.
Yes, and she's like, the FBI said everything's fine, and like, we were like, here are 20 Instagram accounts of your child, like fake, whatever.
Yeah, she's one of the worst, but not even, I don't even think she's one of the worst. She's one of the most known.
Yeah.
There's worse ones than her, but she's pretty awful. You know, we're not talking about that today.
We're not. I'm so sorry to get off topic. Let's back on Puff Diddy. And somebody said Cuba Gooding Jr. is not convicted, but is it maybe a rapist? Accused rapist.
Accused, yeah. Apparently he's had accusations. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know. Wow.
But he's also being put into this lawsuit, and so some of the stuff that they are saying in the affidavit, that's what that's called, right? Yep. So what they're saying, this person who's filing the lawsuit, is stuff like illegal firearms, which whatever, that sucks, don't care that much. This is saying Mr. Combs provided laced alcoholic beverages to minors, and that they have video of it. in California, Virgin Islands, Florida, some other islands.
This is going outside of America, too.
Yeah, so a bunch of stuff about... So there's apparently a woman who's being called, like, his version of the Ghislaine. So she's some kind of staff manager, and she's being called essentially procuring him things, including drugs. So she would always have to instruct everybody to keep literal fanny packs of drugs for him on hand at all time. He says that the sons have been filmed drugging and essaying a person. He just, all of these horrible things. A rapper Young Miami's cousin was assaulted in the home. Cuba Gooding was trying to assault this person who's filing the lawsuit. Yacht stuff with underage girls, also sex workers. Do I need to continue on?
No, did he try to run to the Caribbean? He went to Jamaica. Fun.
He did. Right after the house raid, he went on vacation. So
vacation after the house raid. That's when I like to go on vacation.
It is technically the correct time to go on vacation. That is when you should go.
And when you call it vacation, it's not fleeing from the law.
But, it might. If you're going to go to jail, I guess go on vacation. Go say goodbye to the ocean.
Right.
Gooding Jr. went to court in 2023, I think. El Condor Pass 69. Hello. I guess I wasn't up on my Cuba facts like I thought I was. Yeah. I didn't know he was still hanging around people.
I just knew him from, like, Snow Dogs.
Yeah, is he still working? Is he an actor still? Wasn't he Show Me the Money?
He was Show Me the Money.
That's all I know, and that was, fucking 55 years ago. Damn. At this point? His plane was on his way to Bali during the raids. From what I heard, he was in Miami the entire time, picky pineapple. What a way to commit crimes in that sort of, lifestyle. Hey, out with the palm trees.
Right.
Flying in private jets where you're also assaulting people, I guess.
People think it's fun to, like, showcase their illegal activity. I was on the train a while ago, and some guy was talking to me, and I was being very nice, and he said, hey, follow me on Instagram. And I was like, okay. So I, pull out my phone. He's a little scary, but whatever. And I follow him, and his pictures were all, like, holding guns to the camera. And I was like, I wonder if these guns are registered. But I had to block him.
You don't even really want a registered gun facing the barrel.
It doesn't matter if it's registered or not. It's still a fucking gun at this point. But, on all of his Instagram accounts. And I was like, oh, so I just kind of great. And I clicked follow, and I was like, have a nice day. And then I just fucking blocked, as soon as I got off.
Yeah, that is the correct series of actions, in my opinion. You just go, hi.
Thanks so much.
Oh. And then you just leave, and then you make him go away forever. Speaking of public illegal activities, you want to talk about punching guy
on the train? One guy was arrested. Well, there was one day I was scrolling through TikTok, and there were 27 women, separate women, that were walking through the streets of New York with their phones saying, I just got punched in the face, and they had a knot on their head, and they were crying.
I saw the one chick with the big goose egg.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a day there was all these women, and we have a couple perpetrators.
The thing, you want to show up, this is the Independent article there. So this guy's name is, how the fuck do you say his name?
Marcus Garvey is his grandfather, and he keeps talking about that.
I don't know if that's true.
Who knows?
Might not be real. His name is Skiboki Stora. He is somebody who's run for a bunch of different things. I don't remember what he was running for. I know he ran for mayor at one point, but
I have a video on it from...
oh yeah, let's play that 1 second. So this article says it's very politically based. It says pro-Trump mayoral candidate, because he does, obviously that's politically skewed, but it's kind of hard to not whenever he is running for political office a bunch of times, and then he's doing a bunch of his videos with a big Trump flag behind him. But he is obviously not doing well in the top parts.
Right.
that's not in any form of excuse, but he's apparently been assaulting women, but he's been doing other weird shit for a long time. We looked at his Instagram account. I don't recommend it, where he just sort of videos people minding their business on the train and then says how they look gay and stuff.
Like that's some kind of insult. Please tell me I look gay.
Please.
Please. But yeah, he just like, there was a woman reading a book on birth control, and for some reason that upset a lot of people. She was doing nothing weird, and the comments were just filled with like birth control and like like laughing tears, and
it's like 50-50. It's like half people, it's like other incels sort of like egging him on, and then the other half is going, you should probably be in a psychiatric unit, sir. But do you want to play that TikTok that Amber sent over? Do you guys have that?
A man has been arrested for allegedly sucker punching a TikTok star on the streets of New York. Influencer Hallie Kate is one of several women who have recently been randomly punched in the face while walking the streets in broad daylight. Now, Skiboki Stora has been arrested and charged with assault. The suspect has unsuccessfully run for New York City mayor, governor, and city council in the past 3 years. He is also a rapper who performs under the name Designer Attitude. It is unknown whether or not Stora is connected to the other reports of assault.
that poor dog.
I know, poor puppy. We did listen to that music video that they just played a clip from, and it sounds like something from a Tim and Eric sketch.
Yeah, like I can't even make fun of it because I forget how the beat is. Like that's how bad it is.
It's the weird.
It's like not even good
morphing
bad.
of his voice. Also, it's haunting for sure. It definitely sounds like somebody who's taken a bunch of cocaine and then made a song, but I don't know. Maybe that's just all natural. He is not. I don't like him. I'm not into it. Not a fan. So essentially, I should also say he's been somebody paid his bail. I think a bunch of incel dudes came together and paid his bail, but he's out. He's out today, so that's fun.
I feel like you shouldn't just be out, like with a. And I know prison operates on money, and that's something that we should reform because you can't just go around committing violence against strangers randomly for a long time, many people, and then just pay money. So then what's stopping me from just punching people and being like, oh, here's some money?
You could, technically.
Like it's a game, like an arcade game?
Yeah.
I hate this.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say it just bluntly, but yes, that's sort of the case. He was posting from a train after he was released in a full white suit, so love that for him. He is out, but also he wasn't the only one. So there was this big rash happening, right? We don't really think all of them were him, but I also kind of question whether or not this is just alerting people to the fact that women get punched all the time in New York. I'm not sure, because that does I'm not shitting on New York. There's so many good things about New York. You are in a city that is so densely populated that if somebody's crazy, you're basically shoulder to shoulder with them, and you can't really go anywhere.
Right.
And so people get fucked with all of the time. That's not making an excuse for this dude, but I mean, I definitely got swung at in Times Square.
What happened?
I was just walking my little skeletal body when I was in my 20s to my, on break at my job, and a guy I assume was homeless just swung on me, but he wasn't like, his heart wasn't in it, because I just kind of dodged it, and then he just kept walking, and then I went like, oh, and then I just like left. But yeah, I mean, I got swung at.
Damn.
You never got punched or swung at, but we've seen some.
I've definitely seen some genitalia.
Yeah. Has anyone, okay, anybody who's lived in New York, has any of you not seen a penis on a subway?
Yeah, write in on the chat. Let's see. Henry was punched too. Yeah, down Beatty's 151.
He was jumped multiple times, actually. Yeah.
Oh, God. We've had some friends that got jumped, you know. It's a very scary place. I've never been jumped, knock on wood. I did have to, in LA, I had to run away from a guy, like literally up a flight of stairs, around a corner, up another flight of stairs, and across the street, because he was being just he was mumbling something to me, and I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And he comes up and He says, hey, I was talking to you. And I felt the spidey sense of like, oh, I'm denying him of his, quote, male urges. So he's going to go, quote, get it back. So I just ran. And thank God I did, because when I got across the street, I saw him looking around and asking for me.
Yeah, and that is one of the safer parts of New York, is that you're never by yourself fully. And so even though shady shit's happening all the time, very rarely, I'm much more scared of being in like the forest or in a small town that everything shuts down at night, because if that dude's fucking with you, then it's just you and him.
Oh, right. I want to go camping this summer, though, by myself.
No,
we're going to start small with
no.
people, but, you know,
Why?
We'll figure it out. I want to be in nature, and I'll find places where there's no other people.
But that's where the worst people go, because they want to be where no one is except for you.
We're all on the same wavelength. Oh no!
You're just gonna be. Did you not grow up watching Blair Witch Project?
Oh,
I will
loved
not.
it.
I can't. That shit is the most terrifying shit to me on earth.
If Blair Witch comes up to me, I'll say, "Hey, queen, let's do some makeup. I love it here.
You're my kind of lady.
Let's kill him.
What, you got a cave over here we can hang out in? Okay.
Woo.
I love that for you. Let's see. I've literally gone to a convenience store for a minute and come out to find shit purposely dumped right by my door, and the guy who did it was standing by his car just smirking at me like, how dare you exist, Zigarius. That's a fun one.
Hate that. Sorry.
I've been swung at in Anchorage before, luckily slowly because the guy was inebriated and fell. I also saw a guy with full beans and Frank walking out through the Taco Bell drive-thru. Walking through the Taco Bell drive-thru, and he gave us all in line a wave. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, good for him.
Nugs. He was trying to give you a little salute. Very upsetting, especially if there's kids around. But yeah, no, of course. And were the time that you were presented with the genitals in New York, was it being used?
He was just on the platform. I was on the train, doors were closing, and he was just kind of shaking it. He was shaking it like a can of pennies that you just kind of forgot about, like, oh. And, you know, I kind of like, oh, because I was a very young Christian girl, and I couldn't explain it. Like, if something shocking ever happened and you can't explain, you just point, and you're like, but it, and then people are like, what is this crazy bitch? But it was a penis, and nobody cared.
Do you think he was passively having it out, or he wanted to shock you? Because I think sometimes the penis is just out because they forget, you know? They forget that they're out in public.
I think he wanted to shock.
He wanted to shock?
Yeah.
The one that I saw, he was actively masturbating. And it was one of those full, you know, just a guy quietly slunched over, and that's a word, and I just like glanced over, and he was just like mid masturbation, and I was like, I'm gonna go in the next car.
God, I wish I could flick my bean to scare away men. How funny would that be?
I wouldn't try that.
No, because he could just slide right in, and I don't want that.
Oh God, Jesus!
I don't want that at all.
I remember once too, a guy, I was sitting near me on a train, and he just started going, "When's the last time man made you come? When the last time man makes you feel good?" I was like, sir, we are at Coney Island in the middle of the night. I am taking a class over my winter break for credits. It is January. No one should be turned on right now. What is wrong? This is like an above ground platform in Coney Island.
Yeah.
It's 4 degrees out. What are you doing? How can you even be hard right now?
Oh, God, because they want to see you uncomfortable. That's part of what gets them hard, is you being like, well, like the shame in your eyes.
Oh, maybe he got off on people being really cold.
Oh, like, right.
Sigarius, Natalie, big cities and rural towns are equally scarier in their own ways. Amber is in just as much danger as LA as she would in... I don't believe you. I'm prejudiced against little towns. I think you're all filled with Texas Chainsaw Massacre people. And I refuse to believe otherwise. Carrie Jo, I've never seen a penis, but I've seen full tit at a Taking Back Sunday show on Long Island. I mean, I will say I've seen a full tit at many shows, though. Was it, you know, directed at the band?
Squirt it?
I actually did, and when I was in the punk scene, I did have a friend who would squirt breast milk into the pit.
Fuck yes, I love them.
to be young.
Tugs McGug says, LMO, I had an older man say, you could make a dead man come. And I could only go, what?
And you went, oh.
That's a good pickup line. You could make a dead man come, like at a goth show.
Thank you. I really did work on my hair today, and I really appreciate that. Is that, I'm assuming, what you said
That's right.
as a response. So there was this guy, and then if you want to just show this other article with the other attacker, they don't think that this was the same man who did this attack, but it's coming from the same time. It's just this woman here. You can kind of see in the background. I'm not playing the video. It's awful, but there is, CCTV.
She had, like, teeth knocked out and shit, right?
Yeah, he just punched her. He just comes out of nowhere and just clocks her straight across the face, and it pushes her, like knocks her into the street, and it broke 3 of her teeth out. She had to get her jaw wired shut, and it was a different guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, what are we looking at here?
He broke my jaw, both sides.
Yeah. The video sucks because she's just like, why? Like, you can just tell she's completely shocked by it. In little towns, you'll get Twin Peaked. Yes, exactly. And while in theory, I want to get Twin Peaked, I don't think anybody in Twin Peaks was having a good time.
Really? I haven't seen that show.
It's a lot of this. That's a lot of the show.
I could do that. Well, my game plan is I'll go to the little grocery store in town and I'll be like, my husband's in the car, and I'll get a blow-up doll and I put a trucker hat on it, and I'll keep him.
To keep yourself safe. That's
keep
your
myself
security
safe. That's my
system.
husband. Yeah.
Okay. I took my dad to see AC/DC like 15 years ago, and there were tits from 20-year-olds to 60-year-olds. It was wild, sick swirl. I love that. Equal opportunity. I think 60-year-olds should be taking their tits out all the time.
60-year-olds have beautiful tits.
They can.
Yes.
Tits can be beautiful at every age.
That's right.
I am very sad about this gentleman who was arrested and then released on bond by a bunch of incels and is now wearing a white suit in the subway. I don't think it's good. I also don't think it's a new phenomenon that women get beat up and punched in the city. There's a lot of untreated mental illness, a bunch of really interesting drugs.
A lot of male
and a
rage.
lot of anger, a lot of male rage, feeling impotent, and I think a lot of that goes hand in hand with being in close quarters with a lot of women, and then they become just part of the shrapnel of that person's psyche.
Fuck them. This is the first time in history that a lot of women are able to live alone, have their own car, credit card, do their own thing, make their own money. And I think that stresses a lot of people out, because in the past, you were guaranteed a bang maid. You were guaranteed a servant little bang maid who would suck your cock and make you lasagna. And now you gotta suck your own cock and make your own lasagna. And I think that stresses these fuckers out.
You know, the cruel irony is that you don't need to suck your own cock or make your own lasagna. You just have to be kind and, like, interesting.
Yeah, women would love to have a partner, like an affectionate, kind, caring partner, but
a lot of them will S your D all night.
All day, all night.
You just have to not be a piece of shit.
So much harder for these guys, for those incel types. God forbid.
Yeah, the
God
sort of
forbid.
entitlement. It's hard to develop, personality, or I don't know, like learn how to do like a kickflip. Girls like that.
If you could do a kickflip and say, "How was your day?" and listen to her, she would suck your cock for 6 hours straight. She would tie you to the bed, whether you like it or not.
Oh, no.
And will suck every last drop of cum out of your warm body.
And then cut your balls.
And then cut your balls off. That sounds great, right?
Cool dog pics. Boomers losing control over women and kids in one generation was just way too much. I mean, I do think that that's partly true. And we use boomers loosely. That can be so many different generations, and not all boomers. I like to say my mom listens. I know that she is not like that, and I know she would like me to say that. But a lot, yeah. What's the one right before boomers? The
Gen X?
Silent generation.
Silent.
Thank you, because a lot of them are actually the ones that we call boomers. I think Trump is a silent generation. Isn't
Really?
he? Yeah. Not to bring that guy up twice today. There's nothing really we can take away from this other than stay away from guys in full white tuxedos in the subway.
Trust your instincts, and also don't walk around with music. That sucks to say because I love walking around with music. Just put on some fucking down, 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 down. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. I've done it way too much. I like dangerously so. At least take one out. Have one in if you want.
Yeah.
You have to just sort of keep your head on a little bit of a swivel. I've found in general, I don't know if it would ever work on a guy like this, but in general, if you look, we've said this before, if you look angry, if you look like you're not going to be like overcome easily, it's usually not, you have much less chance of being attacked.
Right.
Because a lot of the kind of people who would attack want somebody who's going to just sort of crumble.
And that's why a lot of high control religions especially teach women ways that you can be, it's harder to break free because you're taught the world is bad, but you will gain heaven and be fine if in here you're silent, you're passive, you're meek, you keep sweet. But of course, that's what predators love.
And if you keep your voice small enough, like you keep this voice, they can't hear you at the college admission office when you say, I'd like to go to college, please. And they go, well, I can't hear, what? And please, can I go to college? Ma'am, I can't understand you. You have to go.
I can't. Yeah, they can't. Yeah. They
Get
take
out.
away your voice. Get out. Welcome to Someplace Underneath. I'm Amber Nelson.
And I'm Natalie Jean. We're so happy to have you here today.
I saw a bird today.
What kind of bird was it?
It was a hummingbird.
Oh, those birds are a little too much for me. They're always fluttering so fast around your face. I don't like how aggressive they are.
Yeah, I want something a little slower.
A little quieter, a little bit more peaceful.
Yeah, like a hummingbird dipped in molasses or something.
Oh, yeah, it's killed hummingbirds.
Are we okay today? I don't think so.
I don't know.
There's another case I wanted to bring up. You guys have maybe seen this around a little bit if you are a connoisseur of body cam footage like I am. This is a story about a guy named Samuel Bateman. If you want to show the article there from the KSL. His body cam footage was floating around the internet for a while, maybe half a year ago or more. He is a guy from the FLDS originally who didn't think that maybe they were taking it quite far enough because you know how progressive the FLDS community is.
Right.
He was like, no, I'm actually the one. I'm the guy. I'm the chosen one because they're all the chosen one. And when they're the chosen one, they want to have child brides, I guess, is what they want. That's the chosen one has that.
It's weird that God always says to have sex with underage girls. That's crazy.
And never to like go to college or anything.
No. It's like almost every religion too.
Or like, look in the mirror for a second.
Yeah, wow.
No, he wants you to have little girls as your slaves.
Yeah, God never tells them to like shave their balls or anything, huh?
Man, if you just look at this picture of him too, just the just dimness between his eyes, and you just know those little girls are the only ones who ever make him feel like he's smart, ever. So he is this guy named Samuel Bateman. He was actually caught because he took all of these women from the FLDS and he was like, I'm making my own little new one, and yet I'll call it the MFLDS. Motherfucker, Latter-day Saints. So he got caught because he was driving this truck with a big U-Haul thing behind it, and a passerby saw a little child's hand sticking out of the back of the U-Haul.
So creepy. I would call the police if I saw that.
I mean, thankfully they did. I hate most of the time, we don't want to always involve police, but if there's potentially a child stuck in the back of a U-Haul, you got to call the police because there's no one else to call. Yeah, what would you even talk about with your child spouse? Bugs, dinosaurs, colors. I don't even think they're allowed to know about dinosaurs. I think that's probably a no-go for them. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of talking, unfortunately. But so this guy was driving all of these young women and little girls around, and the little hand creeped out. Once again, a child saving themselves. And the cops got called. I made a little clip of the body cam footage if you want to play that video.
Phones. What's that reach in your pockets? What's your name, sir?
Always
What's
a
that?
tucked in
What's
shirt.
your name, sir?
Shannon.
Tucked in jean shirt.
How many other people in that truck?
2.
And so these cops have pulled them over in essentially a parking lot of...
How many other people are in the truck?
Truck stop. And they're questioning him.
Well, I just want to know who's inside the truck right now.
There's all of these men in brown, I think these are state troopers, going to the back of this truck because he won't tell them what's in there.
Where are the hands? Let's see the hands!
Let's get that other door open.
There was hands sticking out of the top of the trailer.
They're all now weapons.
There's hands sticking out of the top of the trailer earlier. Let's see them.
Kids, because they don't know who's back there.
Let's see your hands. They're in front.
Behind the curtain.
Okay. All of these kids
Keep
are
your hands up for me. Go and walk out towards me, okay? Try not to slip, all right? Just keep walking. Is there anybody else inside the trailer? No? Perfect.
So you just see all these, thankfully they blur all of
Thank
this
you,
out really
guys.
well,
Yeah.
but you just see all these little bodies
siblings,
popping
okay?
out of the back of this U-Haul.
Heavy
And then
sorry.
You can see here the inside. It's pitch black. Looks like they have a stroller and a little couch for them to sit on and a piss bucket. And they're all just in the back there. Those are all his wives. Of course, he's the chosen one.
Heavy micro growth 420. Why are they hiding? Brainwashed? Yes.
Oh yeah,
brainwashed.
they're from FLDS. They don't know anything else.
They think they're gonna go to hell if they like talk to somebody like me.
Yeah. So this is just a little bit of the police looking in here. I just wanted people to see the inside of where these kids were if you're watching the show, not listening.
You imagine how hot it was in there?
Yeah, it wasn't. It sucked. I'm quite certain.
And it stank in a piss bucket? And like that's where your family is? Chosen one? Fuck off.
Yeah, you'd think the chosen one could have like at least a nicer couch or something back there, but so this guy ended up getting obviously arrested. Some of the other adult women with him also got arrested, which I'm not familiar enough with their charges to say my feelings on it, but it does suck. I'm sure a lot of those women had kind of just been groomed into being like an accessory, but they were adults, and so they're going to get charged. But there was a bunch of underage girls and minors in there in his cabal or whatever. And if you want to pull that picture up of him along with the other guy, this is Samuel Bateman on the left. He's the guy you just saw in the body cam. And then this guy, whose name is Moron with an I, Johnson. That's another really popular LDS name, Moroni. He is also arrested and implicated. He and this other gentleman, Samuel, were in essentially a ring where they were trading some of their own children to each other and other little girls for brides.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you just remember, no matter what the high control sect is, there's always going to be another guy being like, actually, I'm the guy. I'm just going to go ahead and do this other thing. It's always going to lead to more shit. There's like just darkness throughout all of these kind of communities. It's just the worst. These kids they thought that they were doing what they were supposed to go to heaven. Was sit in the back of this fucking U-Haul and be essayed by this fucking mouth-breathing idiot.
And they were so scared to say anything because they were groomed into thinking that this is life. And that like, oh, if you go to the big bad city, that's where you get trafficked. Meanwhile, you're trafficked the whole time. There's another guy. His name is Joel Webben. He I saw a minister of his today who said he doesn't want his wife to read books he's never read because he doesn't want her outpacing him. So he's just saying the quiet part out loud. So of course, like things
but
like
yeah, I think a snail could outpace you. I imagine she's probably never read a book because he certainly has never read a book.
No, he's another chode-looking ass. Of course, education is denied from people, and that the outside is bad
because
they want you living in a trailer, pissing in a bucket, and raping your children. I'm sorry,
and being like, guess what? You're so lucky. You get to be a chosen bride.
Wow, you get raped over the piss bucket tonight.
Yay!
Are you so lucky? The chosen one.
Yay!
Yay! The man with his shirt tucked in.
Yeah, God, they've never seen a man with his tails out before. So obviously those children have been now put in protective services. And he also got extra charges, that guy, because after they were taken in and put in child services, he was trying to plot to get them out by basically committing kidnapping, because he thinks that he's a lot smarter than he is because he's never been challenged in any way. So
so in LDS, there's always like the top guy that's like God's guy, but he's like, no, I'm the top guy of that top guy. So he like took the family away because he's the top guy.
And then when the cops took the kids into protective services after that body cam video, he then tried to kidnap them. So he's not getting out of jail, basically.
Good.
Which is great.
Send his ass to hell.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's going to heaven. Remember, we shouldn't start the heaven toll. We got this guy. We got Josh Duggar.
Right.
We got Lori Vallow. And speaking of Lori Vallow, do you guys follow that story at all? We are about to start the Chad portion of that little tale. So Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell essentially have murdered a bunch of people. Lori's children were considered missing for a long period of time, and then it was discovered that Chad and Lori had killed them and buried them in Chad's yard. It's great. Chad Daybell, his trial is about to start because Lori got sentenced, I forget how many years she got, but she's like not getting out of jail ever. Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell are really interesting characters. It's a disgusting, horrible story, but very similar to Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, not only in the way that they committed crimes, but also because they share a lot of the same theology and the same books. They read a lot of the same books, had a lot of the same spiritual leaders and stuff like that. So they were like kissing cousins. They're like right next to each other.
Zechariah says the Garden of Eden is literally a story about demonizing equality and knowledge. If this is our base story, what do we expect to come from it? Zechariah is very smart.
You're right. You're right, Zigazarius. Zigarius.
Is it Zecharias?
I think it's Zigarius.
Zigarius? Well, thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Ma'am.
They, them.
We.
I'm sorry. I don't know Zecharias.
I'm just glad you said it.
Yeah, it's sitting in this pile of shit I made. Sorry.
My hubby rolls me blunts every day. I'm happy to provide a little sexy time for that alone. I'm a weirdie too. I agree. You know, it's just a give and take. You can get a little sexy time just being nice to somebody. Have you tried it?
God forbid.
Have you tried it? NPR Ladies Bird Talk needs to be a thing. I mean, we can do a whole ASMR. I'm not into that shit.
Oh, I hate ASMR when they do this. I won't do it, but like on the microphone and they tap it. I turn it off every time and I want to scream and throw my phone. Is there an opposite of ASMR where just a woman screams? Is it us?
It is us. I think that's what it is.
Is it us?
Yeah. I think we're the opposite side of that spectrum.
You get raped over the piss bucket today. Is that what this is?
Yeah. What does ASMR stand for?
Ass, sexy, murder, Ronald Reagan.
Yep. Not gonna even look.
Oh, ZZZ Lena. There was some fundamentalist being interviewed who said if he could snap his fingers and have a perfect Christian nation, the first thing gone would be women's voting rights. In his word, if women vote, then we eventually won't have a Christian nation anymore. Yes, ZZ Lena, that was this guy. That was this guy, this dumbass Joe Webbin.
They don't even want that. They don't want to have that. They just want to be mad and they want to make you feel bad. If they snap their fingers and that happened, they're not going to suddenly be happy and contented.
No, they're just a pile of shit and hate.
It's just anger. Anger. Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Oh.
Doesn't help me.
Doesn't help me.
We're the opposite of what that is.
Whatever that is.
So, live stream, guys. This is what you get, my mouth sounds. So we got Chad Daybell. Want to pop that link up? So you just get a nice visual of this man who both somehow has a giant chin and no chin at the same time. Isn't that weird how it's this big long shape that comes out from his neck, but also is just a flat line from his neck?
You know, a big right-winger talking point is like attractive people are nice or good people because evil becomes ugly. But a lot of these fucking guys are ugly as hell. So maybe they're right. I don't know.
It's also just, he's got no riz, obviously.
No riz.
Obviously. But he got women. He got...
Because he could groom them. That's it. That's all. That's the only reason why.
I'm being... He's just got to come in here. Henry just was at the door.
Oh.
It's distracting me. Go!
He's got plenty of riz. He got Lori Vallow.
Listen, she is an Idaho 10, okay? You bring her out here, I don't know so much, okay?
But a lot of these, that's the sad thing about all this is the women in these churches are gorgeous. Like this guy, this fucker who said take women voting rights away. I looked at his wife. She's a beautiful, blonde, smiling woman.
That wasn't his wife until right before because they collectively murdered his actual wife he'd been married to for 30 years.
Oh, sorry, not this guy. The other guy who said women shouldn't vote. Sorry. But this,
Which fun guy are we talking about?
Which fun guy? But some of these women are gorgeous, just having to suck a dick of a two.
Yeah, but I also, I'm not going to give Lori I'm not giving her hot points. She is a dark person inside, and she, just like, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, just like Ruby and Jody, were both sort of the catalyst for one another. It wasn't one person manipulating the other. That's kind of the question, what's going to come up with the Chad. He's going to essentially say, Lori made me do all of this, because Lori's already been sentenced. But I don't think it's going to really work because there's so much evidence to suggest that they were both playing off of each other's like egos and belief systems, which is, of course, they're, again, the chosen ones. They're the special ones. They are the ones going to be, they're one of the 144,000, like so many criminals are apparently. So they ended up killing so many people. Some of them they're not even going to end up getting charged with, including Lori's brother, who helped them commit some of the crimes. His death is never, I think, ever going to be actually looked at as a murder or an assisted suicide, but it almost certainly is because he just dropped dead right after he finished committing all that crimes with them, and he got a blessing from Chad right before he died and all this stuff, and it's just like, oh, I guess it was just
oopsie.
So Chad is, let me show you Chad. I have those pictures that I put up of the Chad stuff. I want to just give you a quick brief rundown of all of these. So this is a picture of Chad and Tammy. That's his wife, who he had 5 children with, who was a loving, doting wife to him, who supported all of his stupid fucking dreams, helped him produce his dumbass books, stayed by his side. And then when Lori Vallow gave him like 2 seconds of attention, he was just like, yeah, I'll kill her. Yeah, let's kill her. I'm going to skip to the next one there. So this is his new bride. This is their wedding right after they had just killed Lori's children. And then they went to Hawaii and they got married. And this is their wedding photos. Her children, who are actively missing people in this picture, were buried in Chad's yard while they were having the celebration. Look at them.
Look at the smiles, though. I mean, whoa.
Yeah. And you can go to the next one. This is Chad reading one of his books. He's written many. He was formerly a grave digger as well. So one of the books is about all of the life lessons he learned while digging graves. Then we got some of his other titles, I think, next. So this is some of my favorite book covers of his. This one's called Chasing Paradise, and it's just a headshot of a lady.
Yeah, why is she on there?
Apparently the plot of it is she dies, and then she has to convince her alive family to convert to the LDS church.
Oh, like a ghost?
She's a ghost, but she's super happy about it. You can go to the next one. I love this one, too, just reclaiming liberty. Picture of a soldier hugging a little girl with an American flag. Love that. It's really nice for him. I don't think he ever served or anything, but...
No. Stolen valor?
Yeah, we go to the next one. We got LDS Top 5 Charts. Where do your favorite LDS celebrities and sports stars rank? So that's one of his books there.
Okay.
We've got his other one, Living on the Edge of Heaven, which is another version of Teal Swan's book, essentially, if you want to go to that one. Oh, look, it's more sunlight coming through dark. The Completion Process by Teal Swan looks exactly like it. What's another one that looks just, all the Scientology books. Oh my gosh. Sunbeams coming through the clouds. All of these fucking books are the same. They all are like just, I'm from heaven, I can show you how to do things correctly. They're so fucking full of themselves. Not only that, but the book that they all of these little cells of people like Lori and Chad, who like seem to have driven them into a mad fervor. That book, Visions of Glory, also has a picture, which I forgot to include, of sunbeams coming through the sky. They've figured it out for you, everybody.
It's just copy paste every single thing, not an original thought.
Not an original thought in their minds. So Chad is going to be going up. I do think that he's going to be saying that Lori tricked him with her hips. Her hips do lie,
Yeah,
apparently.
they do lie.
But she was really into him at the time, which is just mind-blowing to me, what your mind can convince you of. But she decided that he was one of God's chosen, and then he wrote this whole book about how he and Lori were married in past lives, which is another thing all of these fucking people say before they kill their families. It's fine because Chad and Lori were married in other lives, and guess what? They were really important people in the Bible. They weren't just some guy who was grinding wheat. No. Their past lives, they were like ascended kings and everything in the past.
Right, because they're the chosen ones, remember?
Yeah. So as soon as they decided to take this route, they started making this list of all the people in their lives. And it was like 2L, 3D, 4D. And that just means where you are on the scale of light to dark. And
there's a fucking hierarchy in heaven?
They were saying, Chad essentially was telling them that he was getting these messages sent to, and Lori was like, oh, okay. But she was like, so she knew this is all bullshit. I think in the back of my mind, I believe she knows that this is all nonsense. But she was like, oh, okay, my kids, they're they call it getting sealed. They're just getting sealed. They're going to, the place that we all go. We're helping. So that's sort of Lori. And when Lori gave her last little speech before they gave her sentence, she had the fucking audacity to say that her children and Tammy, the wife of Chad who she helped kill, were her friends, and they were really happy for her and Chad, and that like they were like supportive of this all happening, and like the fucking audacity to say that Tammy was her friend in that speech, just like, whoo! Ooh, it gets me mad. It gets me so mad.
Damn, but he might go to jail forever, right?
Yeah, well, he's facing the death penalty.
That's if you're listening.
Is that a head saw?
Yeah. If you're listening in, I just mimicked sawing my own head off.
Like in Hereditary?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. I don't believe in the death penalty in general. I don't for him, but he is facing it. He's, I think, going to do whatever he can to avoid the death penalty. Lori wasn't facing the death penalty. I forget why. There was just like a series of reasons for that, but he is. And so I'm very curious to see the method they're going to take, because Lori was like, to the very last end, was still doubling down on being like, nope, I was right. This is the correct thing. I know I'm doing what God said. And just, I think Chad might take a different route.
Oh, he might throw his wife under the bus?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn. Well, it sounds like they deserve each other.
There's best heaven, celestial kingdom, just okay heaven, telestial, and bad heaven, terrestrial. Yeah, that's the LDS heaven rankings.
There's bad heaven?
There's just
what is that?
This is like any MLM. It's like that in Scientology too. Like, you have to have tiers.
It's like Taco Bell, but they don't give you any sauce. And you're like, no, I'm in bad heaven.
Man, I should do a Tears of the Clown base. Oh, I want to do heavens.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great, Natalie.
I'm doing it. I'm going to throw that in there. Because we got to figure out which ones are the good ones. And tell me which one it is, because I got to figure out which people I'm giving my money to.
God, I went to one place, and I forget the religion, I'm so sorry, but it was basically like, you could be reincarnated, but at the end, there was one guy being served. And I'm as a woman looking at this being like, wait, so I got to do good my whole life and be karmically go again so I can, serve you? Fuck that.
I have really unfortunate news.
What?
Most heavens.
I'm just serving some guy?
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like they made it up.
What? What? Whoa! Degrees of glory. Oh, wait, I can't see that from here. What does it say? Degrees of glory.
The theology of cosmoptology. Oh, yeah.
There we go. Cosmology?
That's right.
Cosmetology is cool. I'd go to cosmetology heaven. We got spirit world. We got earth life. We got pre-mortal existence, and then you get shot into one of these other things. And there's all of this conjecture about how the idea that all of the guys get their own planets is not really what they're saying, but it is essentially saying if you do all the correct things, you get to have your own planet, and you become the god of that planet. And the people, your wife is sealed with you, even if your wife dies, you get a second wife, or, you know, because a lot of the more common LDS don't believe in polygamy anymore, but they kind of do. And the wives are just there, just being like, yay, look how good he is at being the god.
Man, fuck all that. Fuck that. I want my own planet. I want my planet, and I want a garden on it, and I want a water slide.
Ooh.
And I want a Costco, and it's all free.
I know. Why are the heavens never just like, oh, it's a lazy river and you get to have endless, like, mimosas or something?
Yes.
Why is it never nice?
I got to serve some guy. That's not my heaven.
I don't even want guys to be serving me. Why can't everybody just have a good time? Why has heaven got to be making somebody else feel bad?
No, I don't want guys in my heaven. How about that? How about that, LDS?
Well, I guess we got to start you got to start a church. All right, we got a lot. We got a church. We have to start a bird podcast, I guess.
Church and a bird podcast. We got this. We got this, everybody.
Yeah, all right, all right.
We're getting close to time. Should we play the funny video?
Oh, yeah. Are you streaming next tonight?
6:30. So we do have a little more time.
Are you streaming Brighter Side?
Brighter Side. So stick around 6:30. Brighter Side. And I've got... Speaking of spirituality, I did an egg cleanse. I'm going to talk about it on the show. I don't know what the hell that is, but my roommate, who's very into like sort of more witchcrafty and stuff, she said don't blast witchcraft on air. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and we're going to look over my egg.
Oh God, what's happening?
We're going to look at it.
The tech's blowing out. Let me just real quick say here.
Oh, at my grandpa's funeral, the preacher said heaven was full of aborted babies, which sounds gross to me. Like, who's cleaning up his fetuses?
Aborted babies?
What do they do? Just crawling everywhere, being like, where's my mommy?
They can't even crawl yet, so they would just be kind of just like a big pile of mush on the ground,
How do you walk around? Like, just kick them? I don't know.
What's the brighter side of being a servant in heaven, Amber?
Well, like, at least I don't have to think of any, like, laws to make. He does it. I can just do that weaponized incompetence bullshit. Sit back on my heaven recliner and be like, I don't know, sweetheart. I don't make the rules. Looks like it's up to you.
Oh, God. I guess so. I guess. Tugs McNugs gifted 3 tier 1 sub. Dr. Hooligan 42 gifted a tier 1 sub. Thank you. Thank you for the subs tonight. Chuck Zell. Jade Thinking, Lisa _Pizza, Carrie _Joe, Tank Girl, Jet Girl, Raven Hallow, Demon Lemur Nick, Redage, Prop. Let's watch your video.
That's right. Oh, Rage Drop says, can we give a babies aborted guns? And I think we can. In my heaven, all aborted babies get guns.
Yeah!
My life, my rules, my style, my attitude. You love me or hate me, I don't care, but don't play with me.
That's the kind of heaven I'm trying to get.
Yeah, that's our
the one
heaven.
I can get behind. Why are we doing this? Why's everybody got to be so mad in heaven?
Right. Give me some dinosaurs and shooting down helicopters.
Why do you want a bunch of virgins? That's gross and weird.
Yes.
What is it for? You're already dead. You're trying to make babies? Just, like, fucking chill out.
Chill out.
As I scream, chill out.
Chill out.
Everyone relax. Please enjoy the much more sweet, dulcet tones of Ed and Amber.
We'll see. Ed hates this egg cleanse stuff. He's like, I saw your video. And I was like, all right, we'll see with the egg cleanse.
It sounds like he needs an egg cleanse.
We could do one on the air. I just need an egg. We don't have that here. Push it out. Plop it out. Did you guys know that? Bye.